Good morning, y'all. Just now got back home and I'm gonna make this video. I scheduled my latest Substack to be published this morning, and it should already be out there. But I need to go ahead and make the video for it. So let's go ahead and bring the article up. The title of this story. Make sure I'm right. Okay. Title of this one is The Fear Factory: How Media and Politics Are Manipulating America by Sammy DeScoyle. All right. In an area, let me get a drink of coffee first. In an era where information is both a weapon and a shield, Americans are bombarded daily with narratives designed to provoke fear, division, and compliance. TV commercials scream that President Trump will dismantle Social Security and other hard earned social services, while mainstream media glosses over the chaos of paid rioters and the forces behind them. And in the modernized Smith Muntak, y'all knew I was going to get that in there. Prisoner releases, welfare debates, and a crumbling trust in traditional news. And you've got a recipe for a nation on the edge. Let's peel back the layers of this orchestrated mess and see what's really going on. Fear mongering on TV, the Social Security scare. Flip on your TV and you're likely to catch ads warning that former current President Donald Trump is plotting to end Social Security and other social services Americans have paid into their whole lives. I debated on putting entire, but whole sounds better. These commercials, often bankrolled by political action committees, PACs, or partisan groups, paint a grim picture. Seniors abandoned, benefits slashed, all courtesy of Trump's heartless agenda. But how much of this holds water? The truth is murkier than the ads let on. Trump did suggest reforms for entitlement programs in the past, like tweaks to Social Security disability insurance, but ending Social Security entirely, that's a leap. I mean, that'll take an act of Congress. I mean, a president can't just do that. Let's see, where did during his presidency, Trump pledged repeatedly to protect Social Security retirement benefits. And in his 2020 payroll tax deferral, a temporary pandemic measure, didn't touch the program's core funding. Yet the ads persist, banking on fear to sway voters. Why? Because Doge looked into the wasteful spending within the Social Security Department, and what they found was horrific. All right. Social Security is what most Americans rely on for retirement, and nothing motivates people like the threat of losing it. It's emotional blackmail, not journalism. And all the stuff Elon Musk and Doge found in Social Security was just amazing. I mean, people 150 years old still receiving retirement checks. One person was receiving a disability check, and their birth date was 2056 or something like that. You know, I mean, give me a break. They were just mad that he was exposing how they were stealing from it, is what it is. All right. The mainstream media's blind spot, the professional rioters phenomenon. All right. Meanwhile, the mainstream media has knack for sanitizing chaos when it suits their narrative. Take the 2020 protest, branded by some as the Summer of Love. Seattle's Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, Chaz, was spun on as a utopian experiment, even as violence erupted and businesses and city blocks burned. Today, as new protests loom, the same pattern emerges. Violent clashes downplayed, destruction ignored, and the label mostly peaceful slapped on like a Band-Aid. Totally ignoring all these proud Americans waving the flag of Mexico or the country they're originally from in the streets of America, proving that the only reason why they're here is to take advantage of our welfare system. Yeah, here's the rub. Evidence suggests some of these rioters aren't just passionate locals, they're professionals paid to stir the pot. In 2020, police in cities like Minneapolis and Portland arrested out-of-towners with no community ties, hauling gear like bricks, Molotov cocktails, and shields. Who's bankrolling this? I mean, it's hard to prove. Hard proof is elusive on purpose, but whispers point to activist networks flush with cash from big donors like George Soros's Open Societies foundations or similar outfits. These groups fund logistics, legal aid, and bailouts, turning protests into well-oiled machines of disruption. The MSM, they only report on their 4 a.m. talking points. That's it. That's all they're allowed. Tactics of chaos. From the summer of love to today, the riots of 2020 and the ones brewing now follow a familiar script. During the summer of love, we saw space grabs. Protesters took over streets, parks, and even police stations, burning one down to the ground, declaring autonomous zones free of law, smash and burn, stores looted, statues toppled, buildings torched, targeted chaos to signal defiance. Cop confrontations, police were vilified and attacked, pelted with projectiles, and in some cities defunded outright. And if a police officer arrests, I mean, they even got so bad that criminals were destroying police officers' lives because they took their legal standing away, claiming they were, what was it, or mishandled, beaten up, while just simply being handcuffed and put in the back of a car, and it ended up destroying that police officer's life, complete life. It is just unreal. All right. Today's left-leaning protests, often tied to immigration or election disputes, recycle these moves. Social media amplifies the outrage. Professional agitators escalate the violence, and the goal stays the same: destabilize, intimidate, and force political concessions. It's not about justice and all about power and who controls it. Now, who's paying the bills? I have touched on this already. I've tried to follow the money, but I'm not that good of a researcher, y'all. So who's funding this mayhem? Pinpoint exact financiers is very tricky and hard. Paper trails are deliberately murky, but speculation insists. But speculation isn't baseless. Soros groups like, all right, stop. Soros-linked groups have long been accused of bankrolling progressive causes, including protest movements, through grants to organizations like the Alliance for Global Justice. Other possibilities include wealthy liberal donors and even foreign actors and governments. I forgot governments. Looking to sow discord. What's clear is the equipment: helmets, gas masks, weapons, professional fireworks. I forgot that. They are not cheap. And someone's picking up the tab. All right. And it's probably we the people through some USAID funded program with our tax dollars. That's how George Soros and all these open borders foundations, places, and committee PACs and all that other stuff, they abuse USAID to use our tax dollars to fund their overthrow of America. Propaganda unleashed. The Smith-Mundt Act role. Enter the Monmouth Smith-Mundt Act that I have been screaming about for well over a decade. a game changer in domestic propaganda. Back in 1948, the original act barred the U.S. government from beaming foreign targeted info campaigns at its own citizens. That changed in 2012. Thank you, President Obama. When the modernization lifted the ban, letting government-produced narratives flood American airwaves. Now, State Department talking points can mingle with CNN headlines, and it's all legal, folks. This shift supercharged the propaganda machine. The 2020 Black Lives Matter unrest was a prime example. The only Black lives that benefited from Black Lives Matter were the heads of Black Lives Matter, who now have several mansions in Miami, New York, and the Miami, the East Coast, and the West Coast. This propaganda, Black Lives Matter unrest was a prime example. Government and mainstream media voices synced up to push a singular story about race and policing, sidelining messy details that didn't fit their talking points. I forgot 4 a.m. It's not about truth. It's about power and who controls it. 2020 jailbreak, Democrats releasing criminals. All right, speaking of 2020, let's talk about the prisoner releases. But y'all forgot about this. Democrat leaders, citing COVID-19 risks, sprang thousands upon thousands from jails and prisons in California, or jails and prisons. In California, Governor Gavin Newsom commuted sentences for serious offenders, murderers, rapists, you name it. New York's bail reform set loose repeat criminals who quickly reoffended. Crime surged in cities like Chicago and LA, yet the mainstream media framed it as compassionate reform, not a public safety fiasco. The result, communities paid the price for ideological experiments. Free welfare for illegals, the resource squeeze. All right, now this is a touchy subject, so I tiptoed around this. Then there's the hot button issue of welfare for undocumented immigrants. Federal law limits their access to most benefits, but states like California dodge that with local programs. Undocumented immigrants can snag health care, food aid, and even cash. Medicaid for young adults rolled out there in 2020. There, I mean California. Supporters called it humane. Critics say it's a magnet for illegal crossings and a drain on taxpayers, which it is. The mainstream media cheers the compassion angle, but skips the math. Every dollar spent here is a dollar less for struggling U.S. citizens. That's what people really don't understand. Yeah, you can be compassionate to somebody, but if they're not a person of America, I don't have any compassion for them. I'm sorry. You know, the trust crash. Americans fact check the MSM. Finally, the mainstream media's credibility is in a free fall. A 2023 Gallup poll pegged trust in the media at a measly 34%, and since then it's gone down even further. And it's no mystery why. Biased takes, cherry-picked facts, and outright omissions have burned the public one too many times. So Americans are fighting back, turning to social media like X, Truth Social, Rumble, and citizen journalists to fact check the news in real time. During the 2020 election, while the mainstream media crowed about the safest and most secure election, online sleuths flagged oddities, ballot issues, machine glitches that demanded answers, but never got any. It's raw, it's messy, and it's not always right. but it's a rebellion against the mainstream media's stranglehold on truth. The takeaway: from TV scare ads to paid rioters, modern propaganda to policy missteps, we're drowning in manipulation. The fear mongering about Trump and Social Security, the mainstream media riot cover ups, and all the rest. It's all part of a system that thrives on half truths and division. But thankfully, people are waking up, digging past the headlines, and demanding the full story. That's my hope. That's always been my hope. A nation that thinks, questions, and refuses to be played. Next time you see, I mean, have you ever been played? Of course, everybody's been played once, at least once in their life. How'd that make you feel? When I got played, I mean, I've been played many times. I worked in the music business. I was suckered many, many times, and it doesn't feel good. Okay. But a nation that thinks, questions, and refuses to be played. Next time you see the Fear Factory at work, don't just watch, fight back with the facts and post them to all your social media sites. America is on a razor's edge. The best way right now, and the best way to protect this great republic, is to continue reporting all the news the mainstream media leaves out of their propagandized and opinionated stories. And that's it for this one. Let me see how long. Go ahead and get out of this. Yeah, that's my take. Let's see, we're at 17 minutes again. Wow, I'm getting pretty good at hitting 17 minutes. I wonder if that's a thing or not. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and end this here now. I need to jump in the shower. I'm wearing the same shirt I had on yesterday. I stink to hog heaven or cow heaven, and I'm ready to go. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a great and blessed day. Goodbye. Oh, and thank you. I put this stuff out for free on my Substack. Anybody can read it. And I see now that I've got a subscriber, which is just awesome. I love it. You don't have to, but hey, if you can afford it, I could use it. Anyways, in my thoughts on the fear mongering. Y'all have a great and blessed day.